Hello and welcome to the BridgeTech Video Academy. In this video we'll be looking at the media window. This technology lies at the heart of all Bridge Technologies probes and it's key to understanding the current and historical states of IP streams. Let's start by selecting a probe that has a large number of streams. I'll select the Core Network probe and click on the Media Window tab. This view shows up to 10 streams in a summary format. There's a lot of information on this screen, so let's take it in order, starting at the bottom. We're looking at the current page, and this page has services 1 to 10. Page 1, Scandinavian. The first time you navigate to a probe, it will always show the first page. You can easily and quickly navigate to any display page using the pull-down. These pages are user-definable and they're useful for logically gathering services into groupings of your choice. Clicking All displays all of the currently joined multicasts on this probe. Note that this view is an offline display and running statistics are not updated. The resolution of the mini media window is lower than the main media window. However, it's still extremely useful for spotting correlations. You can see that it's very easy to spot these no signal events that span multiple streams. The graphs are currently showing inter-arrival time versus media loss rate. Inter-arrival time is often known as jitter and media loss rate as packet loss. By clicking on the next button, we can show bandwidth versus media loss rate. And as you can see, the graphs are now blue. This indicates we are looking at bandwidth measurements. The third button is IAT and RTP. Of course, the probe must be receiving an RTP stream. As we can see, all of the currently displayed streams are grey, indicating that they are in fact UDP streams. When an RTP stream is displayed, it will be purple. There are no RTP streams currently configured on this probe, unfortunately. Switching back to IAT and MLR, we can see at the bottom right of the display we are currently displaying a resolution of 4 days. Let's switch to 24 hours. We can choose a resolution between 4 days and the live running now display. 4 days is the limit of measurement data held in any individual probe. Using the scroll buttons allows us to move back and forth along the timeline. These buttons will take me to the beginning and end of any graph. Note that the informative tooltips are ever present in BridgeTech probes. These are very useful. Not only do they display measurements under the mouse pointer, they will also display information about controls. Let's have a closer look at these graphs. The smaller single graph here indicates the current measurements, and the x-axis is marked with the times, indicating the approximate time of events. To the right of the graph is the Now section. This part of the graph shows the current measurement and changes frequently. As we look to the left of the graph, we are looking further back in time. The graph above the black line indicates the IAT or inter-arrival time measurements, and below the line is the media loss rate or MLR. The detail at this scale is limited, but that's not a problem as we can look at any one of these streams individually in much greater detail. As you can see, I can mouse over any part of the graph and tooltips will appear giving me details of the event and time. Note that the time interval is related to the time span of the graph. The smaller the span of the graph, the more precise the time indication. This tooltip tells me that the time of measurement is between 23:30 and 23:45. The graph resolution at the 8-hour span is 15 minutes. The IAT measurement is 40.5 milliseconds, enough to make this event exceed the error threshold, and the MLR reading is currently 0. As you can see, as I move down to the 20-minute scale, the time resolution becomes 1 minute. You may need to use the scroll buttons to locate precisely the event you're looking for. If you look here, you'll see the range and the resolution for any given display span. The resolutions of the tooltips also change to reflect the graph range. Looking across the display, we have the cumulative counts for IAT, MLR, RTP, overflow and no signal error seconds. Note that this data applies to the currently displayed time span. Switching, for example, from 4 days to 8 hours will change these figures. Let's have a look at one of these streams in more detail. You can see that the window starts with the timescale selected to running. I'm going to choose the 90-minute scale now. Now we can see there's much more information in this graph. The axes have more details and the median black line is clearly visible. As with the smaller display, this one shows the current measurements on the right. Jitter is displayed above the bold line and drop packets below it. Remember that the MLR or drop packet figure refers to the number of dropped MPEG transport stream packets and not IP packets. The main media window also shows Ethernet threshold information. You can see over on the left axis these figures indicating the warning and error threshold figures. The warning threshold is picked out with a yellow line and the error threshold an orange line. Any events that exceed these threshold levels will be coloured appropriately. These threshold levels are set in the Ethernet Thresholds tab and are described in another Academy video. Although all of the thresholds for all of the alarms on Bridge Technologies probes are user definable, we recommend that you leave the MLR threshold set to a warning of 1 drop packet and an error level of 7 drop packets. Remember, 7 dropped transport stream packets may well indicate a dropped IP packet, as 7 is the standard mapping for TS packets into an Ethernet frame. If you're using any other mapping than 7, you'll need to adjust your MLR error threshold appropriately. As with the mini media window display, the resolution can be changed between 4 days and 90 minutes. To the right of the Now display, you can see the error seconds figures for the currently displayed time frame. These figures also update continuously with the current IAT and MLR measurements. As we can see, we have several events that have exceeded warning and error thresholds. Again, use the tooltip to get more information about individual events. Going back to the main media window tab and looking at the page pull down, you can see the pages that this probe has configured. In this probe, they're arranged as genre types, but these names and groupings can be anything you decide. These are configured in the Pages tab of the Setup Main tab. It's here that you can choose names for your pages. Remember to click Apply Changes if you have made any. If I go to the Multicasts tab of the Ethernet Main tab and scroll to the right of the multicast stream list, I can see in the Page column to which page each multicast is assigned. Clicking on the Page column header will cause the table to be displayed by page number. Go to the Join tab to assign or change these. Clicking on any of the page numbers will show the streams associated with that page. Adding or deleting streams to a page is as simple as highlighting the required stream and adding it or deleting it. Let's try that now by adding a stream to the Entertainments 1 page. Scroll down to find a stream and simply add it. Multiple streams may be selected using Shift-click and Control-click. Remember to click Apply Changes. Let's go back to the media window and check that the streams have been added. Select Entertainment 1 from the pull down, and there you can see the newly added services. They all show no signal alarms because there is currently no data on these multicasts. Note also the +1 and -1 buttons. These allow pages to be incremented through. I'm just going to remove those streams from the page now. The media window is one of the most powerful tools in the Bridge Technologies probe. After the alarms page, it's probably the first place that you should check if you think you have a problem. Get used to using it, changing the scale, and noting how much detail you can get. One really useful feature that has been added in the version 5 software update is the pop-up window. You can see this pop-up button in the bottom right-hand side of the large media window. This enables individual media windows to be popped up and brought into the foreground. You can pop up as many of these services as you need, so it's really easy to compare services side by side. All of the windows may be individually controlled and they all update live. With the addition of independent pop-up windows, the media window just got even more useful. If you've had an issue with any of your streams in the last 4 days, the media window is the place to go to find out if one or more streams were affected, as well as when and for how long the problem lasted. We hope you found this video interesting and useful. Be sure to check out the others in the series. If you've got any ideas for videos you'd like to see, email us with your suggestion. Bridge Technologies offers a full 2-day technical training course covering all aspects of probe and VBC operation, as well as a theoretical background. Training can take place in our purpose-built training centre at our Oslo HQ, or it can be delivered at your own premises. If you want to contact us, visit our website or email us at training@bridgetech.tv.